What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at another it's another film review. Today we're taking a look at Uncharted, which is the first in PlayStation's attempt at creating a MCU type thing, a crossover, a film cinematic universe with their licenses and their properties and their IP. And this is Uncharted. It also stars Tom Holland, and I forgot the other one's name. Mark Wahlberg, there we go. Who also appears in Ted and Transformers. So, I actually went to watch this with my family. However, my friends, I told them I was going to go watch it with my family. And my friends booked the same time, the same cinema, and all came to watch it at the same time. I then sat with my friends and ditched my family. We watched it and we went out afterwards. And then I recently watched it again with my girlfriend on Netflix. So now I'm making a review on it and talking about it and seeing what I like about it. I'm going to tell you this right now before I even start the review. I've never played the Uncharted games. I have an Xbox. They're exclusive to PlayStation. I'm a fan of the Uncharted universe. I like the story that it holds. It's very similar to Tomb Raider in that sense. And the other one, Just Cause. However, I've never actually played Uncharted itself. So, let's get into it. Let's get into the story. Victor Sullivan recruits Nathan Drake to help him find the lost fortune of Ferdinand Magellan. However, they face competition from Santiago Moncada, and who believes the treasure belongs to him. So how the film starts is Nathan is with his brother trying to steal a map from a museum. They get taken back to the orphanage because they were caught by the police. Nathan's brother was supposed to be taken away by the police, but he actually runs away and escapes instead. Nathan is then abandoned, left alone, and 20 years later he's working at a bar. Sully comes and hires him for his sort of skills and to see if his brother actually left him any notes, any clues as what to do. They then go and try and steal this cross from a museum, like an auction place, but, like we said before, Moncada is there, who is also the voice of Puss in Boots, so, he's a big deal, and he thinks it rightfully belongs to him. He has a lot of family issues because his granddad's selling his fortune, which he doesn't agree with. He wants to keep all the money, but the money came in through bad ways. It's like bad money, it's not good money. And he doesn't care, he just wants the money. Sully ends up getting the cross, leaving Nathan Drake to deal with the police. Nathan Drake manages to escape, get in the car. They then move to Italy, or Rome. I forget which one, Greece, somewhere around there. That ballpark area of Europe. I'm not good at geography. We then meet up with their third character, which is their third wheel, and they argue a lot. They fight, they steal, and they swap. Nathan Drake knows what he wants to do, knows how to get to, and knows where they have to go with the crosses after the girl steals them both. So they go to the church, and they go back at nighttime when they can sneak around and steal stuff on their own. They break into the next area, and one goes up, one goes down. Nathan Drake and his girlfriend almost drown. They end up in an underground nightclub, and they find a bunch of salt, which has a map in it. The girl then steals the map. Sully then saves Nathan, and they go onto the plane, the cargo plane, with the girl. Cargo plane goes up, and the girl is actually working with Moncada. Moncada's assassins kill him, his hired gunmen, kill him, and decide to take the money for themselves. So they keep going. Nathan and Sully accidentally open the back of the plane. Everyone falls out, and Sully has a backpack. Sully has a umbrella thing, has a parachute. There we go, that's it. We finally got it. Nathan doesn't, and he falls out, gets hit by a car, manages to climb back in, and then falls out again, and he's saved by the girl. This is one of the best scenes in the movie. If you're a fan of the channel for a while, you'll know why. We are continuing. They drift off, find a hotel, they see the real Nathan Drake from the video games, and they work on his postcards to see what his brother left him. He works out the coordinates, writes the wrong coordinates down, so then she wakes up, steals them, and goes to them. He goes to the right one, finds the boat. Mark Wahlberg follows him, or Sully follows him, because he keeps too many apps open on his phone, and he has a tracker open of Nathan. He keeps going. They try and steal the ships. They're picked up by 2 helicopters, and there's a big helicopter fight, and both ships get destroyed. The girl dies, the assassins die, and they have 2 pockets full of gold, and that's it. That's when the movie ends. It does have a cliffhanger of his brother writing a letter from a prison, and that's pretty much it. That's the Uncharted movie summed up in a nice little bow quickly before I talk about it. Casting-wise, I am a huge fan of Mark Wahlberg, and I'm a huge fan of Tom Holland. I think their other work in other movies is incredible. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland in other movies that he did, the disaster movies he did when he was young. I like him in the Sound movie as well, where he's got the thinking outside his head. That's also a good movie. He's a great actor, but I don't think he fits the Nathan Drake vibe. Nathan Drake is supposed to be a little bit older than what Tom Holland is, I do believe, and he doesn't really look like Nathan Drake. Same with Sully. Sully is supposed to be older than Mark Wahlberg, like a good 50, 60-year-old. I do believe. I could be wrong with that information. And Mark Wahlberg just doesn't cut it. Mark Wahlberg is more of a comedy actor instead of an action actor. And they had a very good dynamic. I am going to be honest. I did like the dynamic that Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg had. But there was a lot of issues with fans complaining about the casting here. With Sony trying to create so many different things at the same time, they're trying to create their own PlayStation verse, their own PlayStation Cinematic Universe, because they even have a new intro for this film, which has Kratos, Crash Bandicoot in it, I do believe. It also has Ratchet and Clank, it has Just Cause, so many of their IPs put into this intro. They also are trying to create their own Spider-Verse, with Venom, with Kraven, with this, that, and the other, whoever else is being made out there. I think they're trying to copy what Marvel has, and they're not copying it very well. They even stole one of their actors, I'm going to be honest, with Tom Holland being robbed to play Nathan Drake. They stole one of his actors. Yes, they did. Tom Holland actually got this film into fruition. He was on the set of Spider-Man, and he was playing Uncharted, and he pitched the idea of an Uncharted film to the directors of the Spider-Man film, and they agreed. They told Sony, and they picked it up and snatched it up and agreed, and they got Tom Holland in on it. So this movie was all Tom Holland's idea, and it is a mix of all the Uncharted games. It isn't just one game, it is multiple mashed together to create this sort of monster Frankenstein hybrid movie, which, again, for the fans who like the series is not very good, but for people who are just watching it because it's Tom Holland, there you go. I feel like this movie focused a lot on Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg being in the movie than what the movie was actually about itself. And I think that got a lot of people to watch it that wasn't fans of Uncharted just because they liked Tom Holland from Spider-Man. And I feel like they were leaning into that a little too much, that it annoyed the fans of Uncharted. So they didn't really, appreciate the fact that you're trying to sell a movie on an actor, not what the movie is about or what the games are about. We also have issues with other things with this movie, like how it is the hybrid monster of a bunch of games pushed together. Because they have pushed a bunch of games together to create this monster one, moving forward is going to be very hard because, again, you're not following the game narrative, you're following your own narrative. So for part 2, you're going to have to mush another bunch of games together, and then eventually you are going to run out of content and it isn't going to make sense story-wise, depending on which parts you pick up and which parts you put down. I do like this film. The CGI is good. The acting is good. The actors are good actors. I just don't think they fit the role very well. Tom Holland has the muscles. He has the acrobatic skill because of Spider-Man, because he does ballet, he does this, that, and the other. So he's qualified for it. He just doesn't look enough like Nathan Drake, and that was the issue that people had. Again, I'm not too bothered. I like Tom Holland. I'm happy with the film. I'm happy with how the film turned out. But then again, I've never played Uncharted, and I don't have that connection with it like other people do. Playing devil's advocate here, but I am going to knock it down a few points due to public demand on that area. Another area I am going to knock it down on is it is just another average heist movie. It's not anything special. It doesn't stand out against other heist movies. It feels very similar to others, where there's constant backstabbing, constant betrayal, constant characters at each other's throats, not working together, leaving traps for each other, swapping teams and stuff like that. It just feels very over the top, and it got very repetitive with the amount of double crossing that was going on. We had Sully, who double crossed at least 3 times. We had the girl who double crossed 4 times. We had Nathan, who double crossed twice. And it just felt very repetitive. It felt like there was no bond between the characters. They didn't trust each other. And yeah, I know they don't trust each other, but towards the end, it still felt very iffy between the relationship of the characters. It didn't feel like they made any progress. If there was progress made, it was very little. And to be fair, with Sully, like, you know, technically killing Nathan, the brother, I think he forgave him way too quickly for that. I feel like he's forgotten about it, or he's... To be fair, I feel like that was rushed over, and they do gloss over quite a few things. Some of the characters don't have enough time to react to stuff. Again, trying to push this much content into one movie and make it a normal hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, hour and 50 minutes movie. You're trying to push too much of a game, because you're, again, making this monster hybrid of a bunch of games to make one movie. There's not enough time to do everything, so it feels like the double crosses aren't that meaningful, because they don't really care about it. It's like, hey, you left me, what the fuck? Alright, let's move on. They have a very small reaction, a very short reaction, and it doesn't equate to anything. Like, he's been double-crossed, like, multiple times by both of these people, yet he's still dumb enough to follow them and talk to them and rely on them. I know he needs to, and he's trying to prove that you need to rely on each other, but still, you would be a little bit more careful, or you'd understand how they think a little bit more and expect a double-cross and not be shocked every time. So, I do like this movie. I am going to give it a 7 out of 10. So other than that, bye-bye.